Hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Gladius Relics of War. Oh, it's a mouthful every time, but you know what? I'll take that mouthful. I'm glad to cover this game, and we're covering it today because Warhammer Skulls is on. I think it's like an annual Warhammer celebration event, because I'm pretty sure I've seen it happen in years previous, but regardless, this game specifically is going for free to claim on Steam at the moment. So if you're watching this video when it's come out or within the week of it coming out, go ahead over to Steam, claim this against your account for free, and you can keep it forever, no strings attached. Very cool. Great way to celebrate Warhammer. It's a very accessible Warhammer game. It's a lot of fun. It's got a hex-based combat system like Civ 6. Not the best pitch, I know, because the weakest thing of any of the Civ games is the combat. However, this is actually a lot of fun. A lot of just your economy exists to scale your army. So the economy is not nearly as complex. There is a research tree and all that, but it's not a Civ 6 type game. If that's much more peaceful and Civ building, this is much more warlike and meat grinding. And I kind of love it. Anyway, also you can see down here we've got the Firepower pack, which has just come out as well. So that's a new DLC. So say you already have the game, well, they do release a lot of faction DLCs, but they do these occasional ones where, what do we got? We got patch notes, we can have a look, where what it will actually do is add units to each faction. I don't think Tyrannid's got anything, but most of them, and neutrals as well, because there's a lot of neutral monsters in this game too. So that's kind of cool. It lays out, and you got some serious big boys. Look at this, the Greater Brass Scorpion. It's a tier 10 Chaos Space Marine Super Heavy Walker. And this is cool. It's a cool value add because not all these factions are in the base game. So if you bought DLC for the factions, this DLC then value adds to existing DLC, which is kind of cool. Oh, actually, look at this. New content free. Tyrannocyte. Ooh. That's cool. Okay. Well, there you go. I was a bit sad because I'm a big Tyrannid boy. Okay. Cool. Bulky, unit trait, very bulky. Oh, okay, that's for transporting dudes. Anyway, that's the setup. It's a great 40k game. Tab out, claim it, or if you're an enthusiast and you didn't know, go and get the Firepower DLC. I like all the DLCs for this game. So we're gonna jump in. So that's the front loading, and for now, for those curious, I'm gonna explain what this game is and take you through the motions. Essentially, we're just gonna jump in default. I like default. It's fine. I was thinking I would play the Adeptus Sororitas, but to be honest, the fact that there's a new Tyrannid dude, oh god, it's been so long since I played Tyrannids in this, because usually when I feature it, I just play as someone like these goobers, the Space Marines, because they're pretty easy to understand. I do love me orcs though. Okay, now we'll go Tyrannids and we'll see how we go. Because I'm rusty. I used to play tournaments as Tyrannids, so I'm a huge Tyrannid fan. The big thing with Tyrannids usually is synaptic control, and I think there's a component to that in this anyway. Anyway, so you get all the different rules. If you do want a basic sort of standard affair, Space Marines are the go. They don't really have extra cities. They just most of the guys in this just have one main city, to be honest. That's sort of how this game plays. So I can't quite remember how the Tyrannids work, but that's okay. Let's go through it. Biomass, food and ore resources replaced by a single biomass resource. Okay, that's kind of cool. I understand that. You won't. No energy. Influence is used for building maintenance. Okay, right. So immediately we've reduced their sort of stockpiles. Cities are more restricted in size but less penalized by quantity. Interesting. So that flies in the face of what I was saying. So these are more about spreading, which makes sense thematically. Production buildings can reclaim units to regain biomass and production. Oh, that's kind of cool, yeah. Feed upon the planet. Cities and malanthropes consume the biomass, strip the ground down to the bedrock. Okay, yeah. So they eat up their tile. Prey adaptation. By defeating and consuming enemies, Tyranids evolve better ways of beating next time. Enemies defeated in the area of a malanthrop generate research points. Oh, isn't that interesting? All right, we'll have to lean into that bloke. Units outside the range of synapse creatures revert to their instinctual behavior until contacts are reestablished. Whilst in range of a synapse, their units are immune to morale effects. Yep. The hive mind's attention can be focused temporarily. Yep, cool. Poison weapons, and then acid blood. Attackers take damage. Okay, that sounds good. And just to double check, can in the patch notes, what is the dudes that was added? A Tyrannocyte, a tier 2 through the Brood Haunt tech. Okay, we can handle that. All right, let's go. Cool, so there's a little bit of the setup. Apologies for me having to brush up because I'm rusty. I think the Tyranids are a DLC faction. I'm pretty sure there's 4 factions in the core game. We can skip this. And that's plenty, to be perfectly. It's not one of those games where you have to have them all. But similar to Northgard, we covered a little bit a while ago. Each of the new units, they're not just reskins. God, that looks almost exactly the same as the paint scheme that I used when I made it in a tournament. That's crazy. I'm having flashbacks of having to draw all of those light blue little brush marks on 10 billion Termagants. Oh my god. But all the factions do play fairly differently, like in Northgard. So the DLC is not just a skin pack, but it's a value add as well. So what do we got here? What can he do? What's this? Subterranean Assault. From one brood hive to another. Well, that's a Trigon. Oh, Trigon's a huge burrowing monster. That's kind of cool. So this, I think the fact that this is on the map means that there's Eldar up against me. So this is a Malanthrope, right? Found city. Sure. I guess the only issue I would have against that is, let's put it there. I don't really want the water tile in my immediate radius. Alright, cool. So essentially, like most things, this is your main city. And these are the options that your city can do. So you can acquire tiles around the edge, or you can build facilities. And it's not super... Well, here, I think that's what that square is. Oh no, it's not actually. No, it's these little hexes. Megafauna Sac, Norn Cyst. We've got 1 spare hex available for building. So we can build one of these buildings. Construct reclamation pool. Generates biomass, and you can see up here, now most of the factions have 5 or 6 resources, but in our case we've just got 3. And we're in the black. See how we're generating per turn a positive amount. Building that generates influence. No, this is what we want. We want a brood nest so we can actually make dudes. So we're going to do that and queue that. And it's as simple as that. You just queue it up. Nornsys headquarters that generates resources. Cool. You don't want to be in this red wire crap. That's not very good for your health. Let's go for a squiz over here. Alright. What's this? You can go and claim this. You can go and capture all these little grey points you can see on the map. They're grey. And they will add to your resources. Alright, choose research. So the research is a 2-to-1 usually, outside of specific prerequisites. So if I want to unlock something on tier 2, I believe I have to do 2 things in tier 1. What we want is Brood Haunt. I want to get this new unit. So we're going to sort of try and rush that. They're all the same speed by the look of it. Building that produces heroes. Yeah, good. We'll get that. Alpha Ovipository. Good. So you've got these Warcraft 3-esque hero units that you can build as well, and they level up and you can equip them with the equipment. Please wait. Enemies having his go. Alright. Pro phase, chapter 1. So it gives you this little sort of mission that you can do. Oh, we're already researching towards it. Produce a Tyranid Prime. Let's see. Unexplored, you say? Uh-oh. So, you gotta watch out for these neutral things. It's a cool setting. So the planet is Gladius that we're set on, and everyone's sort of land grabbing. But it's not something you usually see in 40k, because 40k is usually just 2 pitched team battles, right? So a lot of the lore, a lot of the representation of it revolves around that. But this is cool. This is a good excuse to sort of see what neutrals look like, and these look like they're just random. Well, Poxwalkers. These are the new dudes that the game has added as well. That's exciting. And apparently they have a regeneration or something, right? But you get all sorts of dudes, all sorts of natural wildlife, like horrible giant monster creatures, and it's actually quite interesting. We'll claim this. Here you go. Here's some of these dudes. Look at them. They look like the blokes out of the Clone Wars or whatever it was called, the prequel movies. Alright, so we can shoot back. So Termagaunt's they got the little organic guns as well. And the other basic version of them, usually, we'll see how this game represents, is a Hormagaunt. And they're ones with like scythy, stabby blades. These guys have got flesh borers, but you can give them all sorts of different guns. You can give them like double spine fists. Now, not in this. I'm getting off. Now I'm just starting to reminisce over the glory days of the tabletop. But I've heard there's oh, look at this thing. I don't even know what that is. Umbra? Look at him. It's a big floating friggin' testicle marble thing. You know? Oh my goodness. Override instinctive behavior. Right, so let's have a look. Shaken. Reduces accuracy. Instinctive behavior. -1 morale. So they're losing morale because of the synapse thing. So I might override that. I need to understand how that works. Because they've got a bit of yellow bar there. Yeah, that must be their morale. Do you reckon? Hit points, morale. Below 66% becomes shaken. Below 33% units become broken. Oh, that's not good at all. Alright, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Probably straying a little bit too far. This is how I usually play this game. I just send everyone in a different direction. But this might not be the play here. Alright, let's end a turn. Again, it's been so long since I've played Tyranids. Yeah, see, and the locals are no joke. I'm going to run you home to heal. In turn. Geez, their morale's getting low. So that's a bit rough without a synapse creature. I'm sort of assuming that going home will reset them. So I can only do little sorties. Oh my god. They're going to harass me all the way in. Alpha Ovipository. Oh, look, a zone throat. Whatever that's called. So I think that's from the Elder gene. I can't quite remember, even though I'm more of a hardcore Tyranid person. It's been a while. But a lot of these, the creatures are created by splicing sort of other creatures' genomes, right? So yeah, I think that's why these guys they have that sort of look. They come from the Elder, and they've also got psychic powers. They can shoot balls of lightning and that sort of thing. Whereas like Biovores are from Orcs, and they're sort of like anchored artillery, actually. Jeez, this music's going for it, isn't it? Override instinctive behavior, because their morale's gone down to almost nothing. Hold position until healed. We'll do that. Though I prefer to send them home. They can heal better there. Alright, choose research. So we've unlocked this thing. What else we got? Hormagaunts. I really do like Hormagaunts. Yeah, let's get them. Let's get them. Gene Stealers would be pretty cool as well. So we're still building that basic building. Yeah, and our base will have like a massive negotiator on it, like a huge cannon. The AI, it's their funeral if they want to come down and attack me. This is not a smart move. This is a great way to lose both your units. Because my dude's just going to shoot them. But I guess they're crossed because you can bunker your dudes. And that's exactly what we have done, I believe. You click on here. Yeah. So my Termagaunts are in there healing up. Then we're going to go get involved. It's so good to be playing this again. Got him with the Overwatch. Losers. Can't attack that far. Oh no, I can too. Really pumping these dudes. It's good. It's a great game. Looks good, runs well, you know. Got a lot of depth, a lot of different units, with or without DLC. Okay, cool. So we've actually finished building the brood nest, right? So you can see the megafauna sack, we can still potentially do all these. We don't have any valid targets, and that's because we filled the 3 building hexes inside this master hex. So what you can do is acquire a tile, and it will give you a hint of your build capacity. Like this, for example, we could do that to increase our research rate significantly, plus 20% bonus. And it also generates 2 research per turn, but you wouldn't be able to build on that. Maybe let's claim that one, right? Just so we've got a bit more building space. And then up here you can see reclaim unit. That was the special we discussed at the beginning. So I can basically just eat a dude to turn it into juice. Produce termagants. So now we can start churning them out. Let's do that. Put one in the queue. Banger. How's this dude going with his 0 morale? Not in turn. Oh, he's having a laugh. He's laughing at the other squad. Hormagaunts, let's go. So you can see the predictor on the damage that it reckons we're going to do as well. Might get these blokes involved too. Oh, this thing can attack as well. Right, that's all she wrote. Have a seat. Get out of here, mate. Take a sip. Okay, Brood Haunt. Let's see what this new unit's all about. Unlock that. I might send him back to heal. Same as him, since he's here. What are we going to do with you, mate? Send you down here, I reckon. Have a bit of a squiz. Order cities. Alright, cool. So we've claimed that tile. You can see there. Bang, bang, bang. So what are we going to build here? Now, if we built another brood nest, see how it says 1 out of 1? All it really will do, it doesn't give you a separate build queue. It will reduce cooldowns, right? So you can increase your throughput, basically. Construct Alpha Ovipository. This is the hero thing. Like, we researched it, but we haven't built it yet. And we're going to put some Hormagaunts in the queue. Are they a different cost? 20? No, they're exactly the same. So they're melee only. You've got little sharp Edward Scissorhands situation going on. Oh, what a game. Alright, execute queued orders. I don't remember leaving you blokes here, but okay. Can you attack them, please? Yeah, the queued orders gets a little bit of a pain, to be honest. But in the scheme of things, not the biggest complaint. Oh my goodness, they took chunks out of them. Alright. What are you anyway? Chaos Cultists. Nice to meet you, good to know. Our souls are forfeit. Wow, that's a very enthusiastic way to go about doing your daily. They look like they're full health. We'll get them into it. Or close enough. Unclaimed items, you can see here, Omniscope. So this is hero equipment. We don't have hero creatures yet, so we have to equip them. Building that produces ground-based monstrous creatures and generates biomass. Alright, okay. That sounds like my kind of game. Oh wow, look at all this. Okay, order unit. Choose research. Well, I mean, I don't know. Carnifex. Ooh. What's this? Adenotropum. Building that produces tropes and generates research. Oh, Turvagon? That'd be cool. So the Turvagon is like a... You can sort of see it in the picture. It's got like a big egg sac that makes termagants. That... When I re-entered Warhammer, and we're talking 10 years ago, because I grew up playing Rogue Trader, you know, versions 2 and 3 of Warhammer, like old, when the rule book was 5 different books. I still remember the yellow War Gear book. Oh my goodness. That sort of crap didn't exist. So Turvagons must have been introduced around 2013 or 14 or something like that. And it's got a giant egg sac and it just churns out termagants. It's a cool idea, the idea of just having it churn out baby units, but I didn't find it to be very competitive on the tabletop. But I mean, of course, what would I know? I'm not exactly an expert. Go get them. So I don't think my units will break. Unless controlled or coordinated. Yeah, okay. Max morale regeneration. Broken. Increases damage taken and reduces accuracy. Right, so it's a huge pain. What are you going to do? And the population of my little town's grown as well, and you need to make room for that. Might see if we can get like a bit of an info sheet. And pull up your city. Or at least when I go to build something, I'll be able to pull it up. Okay. Execute queued orders. So, here we go, look at this. Scarlet's favourite, Hormagaunts. Those little sharp fingers. Okay, yeah, here we go. You can see there's a population component. So we need 3 population to run our buildings, and we've got 4. We've got a cap, and we also have a growth rate as well. So there are those mechanics there. Produce Tyrannid Prime. Bang. Chuck him in the queue. Chuck them in the queue. What's going on here? Broodhaunt. Oh, excuse me. Jeez. Sneeze snuck out on me. Cool. And we queue it up. So you should be able to, you know, get the motions of it. For the most part, you just want to keep scaling your economy to produce as much as possible. And then when you start going into the red on these, you want to walk it back from the edge if you can help it. Oh my god, they just got melted. I need a synapse creature so bad. So, override instinctive behavior. Focus the hive mind temporarily. Oh, right, okay, so it's turned off instinctive behavior. Right, so the way that I should be doing this is when their morale is full, like sort of like here, I should be overriding it then. Look at that though, we've got like no influence as well. Crazy. There we go, that's what I was looking for. Oh, get out of it. Give them the old stab, boys. Oh, mangle them. Did like no damage. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. We might just grind out, because I did want to see what that new unit was, but I think we're building the space now. Just gonna keep running back to heal like a coward. Influence. We'll spend all of our influence just to lock those blokes out. So their morale stays full. You know what I mean? Alright, we've unlocked the Turvagon. What else we got? Birthing canals. No, we'll get a Carnifex. It's a difficult choice, of course, as always. Who says no to a birthing canal? Jesus, put that on my tombstone. Yeah, so okay, so their morale's not decaying, at least for the next couple of turns while I'm overriding that behaviour. Clever Scarlet. Hammer of Wrath. That sounds pretty ominous, doesn't it? So as you can probably, surmise, the early going is very much just fighting the locals. We haven't really found any of the other opponents or anything like that. What's this? Disband? No, don't do that. Well, that's not going to do much damage. At least I got trees to help protect me. Alright, there's the Brood Haunt. Tyrannocyte. Monstrous creature that transports units to the front line and supports them by pinning down enemy units. Oh my god, it's going to take 6 turns to finish. Let's just go as fast as we can, shall we? I'd like to see this thing. Oh no! Oh no, they're getting mangled! Run away, little boys! Oh wow, they killed another thing as well. So we completed that mission objective, so that seems to have done something for us. Here we go, look at this. Tyrannid Prime. So he counts as a bit of a hero. They're sort of lieutenants in your army. Synapse creatures, right? They're not super tanky. They're stronger, but they're still pretty easy to kill. But you essentially embed them as almost like the leaders, because they will in turn have their own synapse range. So I can level him up. What's this? Scourge of the Brood. Increases his damage? Perfect. City. I've already got one of them queued up. I wouldn't mind queuing these. So what do we miss? And now this is when it gets to starting to balance. We're losing influence. I want more biomass as well if I can help it. So then you got to start thinking about what buildings you want to build. Something that generates influence would be great. So a synapse node. We'll start building on that, I think. Yeah, that works for me. Alright, end. Probably equip that. Oh, there you go, equipped. And that should get their morale back. In fact, I believe he just doesn't have morale at all now. Synapse link. Cannot be shaken or broken, is immune to fear, and is not subject to instinctive behaviour. There you go. It took his morale meter off him. But they do have to be in the surroundings. And that should do the same to him. Alright, we're in there. Honestly, I'm happy just to burn through my turns. So we're about to finish this video up anyway. Carnifex, let's go. One more turn. Whatever. I want to see the new bloke. New kid on the block. Hey, there he is there. Look at this. Tyrannocyte. Oh my goodness. That's the thing dreams are made out of. So he can transport some dudes to the front line, can he? It's a very cool feature. Can I put the big bloke inside? Oof! I can too, but he's probably, yeah, he's bulky, so he takes up different slots. Alright, well, there you go. There you go. So, a bit of Gladius Relics of War. I hope this helps explain how the game works. Again, I think it's a perfect sort of palate cleanser. It's not an idle clicker or anything like that, but it's also not some 10,000 hour 4X, you know, spreadsheet simulator. It sits in the middle, and I think it's quite wonderful for it. Go and claim it for free on Steam if you haven't already, and if you're more interested in that, check out the, you know, all the DLCs, the Firepower Pack. I think they're all really good value if you're an enthusiast of the game. Now, I'm obviously a bit of a Warhammer fan, even though, you know, I pretty much only play Xenos and I haven't played a tournament in 10 years. But even with that, I would still say I'm a fair weather 40k fan. Like, I've been involved in the hobby, but I don't know a lot about the lore, and I find a lot of the Space Marine crap cringe. But that's what I'm saying. This game, the DLCs, all the value is there, even if you're not exactly a fan first. If you like the game first, I think the DLCs are a treat. Anyway, there's my thoughts. What would I know? I'm just an idiot who plays video games. Let me know what you think, team. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.